Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. I'm Goddess Imani, and welcome to Sacred Love Lessons. This is a sacred space where we remember who we are, rise in our truth, and radiate the frequencies of love, clarity, and sovereignty. Welcome back to the Valley of Forgotten Goddesses. In the previous gate, the whispering trees, we learn to be still enough to hear the quiet voice within. We discovered that wisdom often arrives as a whisper rather than a shout. But hearing your inner guidance is only the beginning. The next question is, will you trust it? Will you see things as they really are and not how you want them to be? Because every insight, every dream, every calling eventually meets a test. And this brings us to our next gate, the path of trials. This is where what you claim to know is tested by life, because wisdom that has never been tested remains an idea, and truth becomes embodied when it is lived. The ancient teachings of this gate is hidden within three powerful goddesses. First, there is Hecate. Hecate appears at the crossroads. She is the keeper of thresholds, the one who arrives when life is asking for a decision. She opens the gate. She illuminates the path that was always there, waiting to be seen. Her question is simple. Will you answer the call? Will you answer the call? Then comes Kali. Kali is the sacred fire of transformation. She does not arrive to punish. She arrives to liberate. She burns away illusions, false identities, limiting stories, and everything that no longer aligns with your deepest truth. What remains is what is real. Her question is, what are you willing to release? What are you willing to release? And then, just when you think the journey is complete, Baba Yaga appears. She waits beyond the fire. Baba Yaga offers no further teaching. Instead, she asks you to tap into what you already know. She nudges you to have a conversation that requires courage, establish a boundary that requires honoring, embrace a challenge that requires trust, and make a decision that requires embodiment. Although wisdom is demonstrated by what we know, it is revealed by how we live. Her question is, who are you now? Who are you now? This is where many spiritual frequency hoppers discover the difference between insight and embodiment. It is one thing to say you trust yourself. It is another thing to trust yourself when the outcome is uncertain. It is one thing to speak of sovereignty. It is another thing to choose the sovereignty frequency when old patterns invite you back into familiar territory. Life circumstances have a way of revealing the frequency you are carrying. I remember when, back in 2003, my youngest daughter had gotten sick and we had received a terminal prognosis. Now, prior to that, I thought I was God's woman of faith and power, and you could not tell me otherwise. And then my daughter fell sick, and it was just all of a sudden. And I got that prognosis, the terminal prognosis, and all of a sudden, all the faith that I thought I had up to that point was called into question. I could not hear. It was like my hearing just went out. Like after the doctor told me what he said, I couldn't hear. My brain just shut my hearing off. I couldn't hardly breathe. I was bent over. I started crying. The fear immediately took over. And then I just began to run. And back then, at the hospital where we were, there were no cell phones allowed. And so I had to go to a payphone bank to make a phone call. And at that time, I was still connected to a church. And I immediately called my church. And the first person that answered the phone, I just told her where I was, who I was, and that I needed for her to pray with me in that moment. And I had told her what had happened. And we started praying. And once we began to pray, and she was praying, and I was praying quietly, listening to her, in agreement with her, then I began to settle down in my emotions. And I began to remember what I already knew. I began to rely on my faith. I began to tap into that energy, that frequency of what I knew. And so Hecate opens the gate. Kali burns away the illusion. And Baba Yaga hands you the trials that reveal who you are after the fire. And perhaps that is the deeper invitation of every test we encounter. Not to ask, why is this happening to me? But to ask, what is this moment revealing about who I am remembering? And the moment that I experienced with my daughter invited me to remember my faith. And it was after that experience that I changed my name to Imani. I chose that name as an act of my faith, a name that means faith, and that is my spiritual name today, Imani. And Sankofa, the woman who remembers. So that's how I became Imani Sankofa. That is what remained after the fire of that test, Imani Sankofa. On the path of sovereignty, every challenge carries a hidden gift. Every threshold carries a choice, and every trial offers an opportunity to embody a new frequency. The lesson of the path of trials is simple. Testing reveals illusion. Many people believe they have clarity. Many people believe they have healed. Many people believe they have chosen themselves. Then life presents a test, a relationship, a disappointment, a temptation, a familiar pattern. And suddenly, the hidden frequency beneath the surface becomes visible. So the trial is really a revelation. The test shows you where illusion still lives. In the shadow of this gate, people mistake survival for love. They ignore what they know. They rationalize unhealthy situations. They wait for someone else to change. They believe that they can save someone who has shown no desire to save themselves. The shadow whispers, just give it one more time. Maybe this time it'll be different. If I love them enough, they'll change. The illusion often feels convincing because it is connected to hope. But hope, when disconnected from truth, becomes self-deception. The path of trials exposes every place where we are negotiating with reality. I was watching this TV series called You. You came out in 2018. And You is a psychological thriller about a guy named Joe. And on the surface, Joe appears to be perfect. He's very good looking. He's well read. He's a business owner. He owns this bookstore. Just on paper, Joe looks good. But underneath the surface, Joe is anything but perfect. So Joe was dating and obsessed with this woman named Beck. Beck and Joe, they were together, then they broke up. Then Joe met Karen. Karen enters Joe's life during a period when he appears stable, attentive, and caring. Then, later on in the relationship, Joe starts cheating on Karen with Beck. Unlike many people who become entangled with Joe, Karen sees what is actually happening. She observes, she pays attention, she notices the inconsistencies. Most importantly, she trusts what she sees. When the relationship ends, because Joe, out of the clear blue, tells Karen that it's over, Karen just gets her things. She doesn't argue. She just asks him simply, "Are you dumping me?" He tries to, sugarcoat it, and he tries to let her down easy. And she's okay. She's like, okay. And she just detaches. She just gathers her things and she leaves. Later on, Karen sees Beck and she approaches Beck. So Karen goes up to Beck and she tells her that Joe is now her problem. Now remember, Joe is obsessed with Beck. But Beck doesn't really have all the clarity that Karen has. So Karen tells Beck, "Thank you for the get out of jail free card." And many viewers, they focus on the surface meaning of that conversation. But beneath Karen's words is a deeper lesson. Karen has already passed the test. She no longer needs Joe to remember who she is. She no longer needs answers or proof. She sees the truth and leaves. Joe never handed Karen freedom. Karen reclaimed her own freedom. The get out of jail free card was not a gift from Joe. It was clarity. Karen stopped participating in the illusion. And once she stopped participating, she was free. The light side of this gate emerges when you trust what the trial reveals. You stop arguing with reality. You stop chasing potential. You stop waiting for evidence that contradicts what is already clear. Instead, you honor what you know. I'll say that again. You honor what you know. The light aspect of this gate says, the test gave me information. I trust what has been revealed. I choose alignment over attachment. At this level, trials become teachers. Every challenge becomes guidance. Every disappointment becomes redirection. Every ending becomes liberation. When you encounter this gate, you realize that passing the test does not require perfection. It requires honesty. So I have a self-inquiry exercise for you today. I call it passing the test. And what you'll need is you'll need a journal, something to write on, and something to write with. And I actually suggest that you write it. You can take notes on your computer or your phone, but I really highly suggest that you write this down because there's a connection between your brain and your hand and your mind writing it down. Okay? So the first question is, what situation in my life keeps repeating itself? What situation in my life keeps repeating itself? Number 2, what truth have I already seen but continue to negotiate with? What truth have I already seen but continue to negotiate with? Number 3, what am I hoping will change despite consistent evidence? What am I hoping will change despite consistent evidence? Number 4, if I trusted my deepest knowing, what decision would become obvious? If I trusted my deepest knowing, what decision would become obvious? Number 5, what illusion is this trial attempting to reveal? What illusion is this trial attempting to reveal? And number 6, what would choosing myself look like in this situation? What would choosing myself look like in this situation? When you finish writing, place your hand over your heart and repeat. I trust what life has revealed. I honor the truth I see. I choose alignment with my highest path. I trust what life has revealed. I honor the truth I see. I choose alignment with my highest path. I trust what life has revealed. I honor the truth I see. I choose alignment with my highest path. Every goddess who has walked this valley has faced this gate, not because she was failing, but because she was remembering. The trial is not standing between you and your destiny. The trial is helping you to recognize your destiny. Each test removes another layer of illusion. Each revelation strengthens your sovereignty. And each choice brings you closer to the goddess you came here to be. I'll leave you with this final thought. The path of trials exists to uncover the strength, wisdom, and power that have been waiting within you all along. When life presents a test, ask yourself, what truth is being revealed here? Because the moment you see clearly, the gate begins to open. What once appeared to be an obstacle becomes a pathway to deeper wisdom, greater self-trust, and lasting freedom. And the illusion falls away. The path reveals you to yourself. In that recognition, you are given the opportunity to fully live your life, not as who you were taught to be, but as who you truly are. That's what I have for you today. Thank you for being here and sharing this sacred space with me. If this episode resonated with you, please like it and share it with someone who is ready to remember their own power. And until we speak again, be the light.